Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching me from. How are you? How you doing? How you getting on? So I want to talk about food, and today I'm going to introduce couscous pudding, or you can call it couscous porridge. Okay, it's not the porridge. Okay, this one is going to. I'm going to add a lot of things inside, so it's not the porridge. I call this one couscous pudding. So what I do is I love to give my babies couscous pudding because it's heavy. I like to give them in the afternoon or in the evening. So if they take this in the evening before going to bed, it helps them to sleep longer hours, right? My baby sleep all through the night. So I make sure that his lunch and dinner are really heavy, and I don't take him to bed and immediately finish eating. But if he falls asleep immediately after eating, so it's okay. But then I try to wait a little bit, like maybe an hour, 30 minutes after eating before I take him to bed. So I'm going to be dropping the recipe, or I'm going to say it out how I make my couscous um pudding. So first of all, I'm going to show you a picture of all the things that you need. In this recipe I use a full cup of couscous, and I use some mixed veggies. They include um green beans, peas, carrots, and sweet corn. And also, I have apple and pear. I love pear a lot. And also, I'm going to add some butter and some water and the milk. I'm going to put the milk aside. Please don't add milk when you're making the food in bulk, okay? Because it's not good to keep the milk more than 2 hours. So don't add the milk yet until when it's time for them to eat. And in this recipe, I'm going to use some eggs. And also, I used a leftover burger that I made for them. There was not anything inside, burger meat. I used minced meat to make the burger. I made it myself. So the leftover of it I added to the couscous. But you don't have to add that. You can even use chicken, goat meat, beef, any kind of meat that you want to use at all. So first of all, you are going to boil in some water in a saucepan. After boiling the water, you're going to pour in your couscous. So while the couscous is cooking, you can now peel and wash your fruit really, really well. I'm going to use apple and pear and also banana. I'm going to add banana, you know, later on. Okay, so after doing all that, after peeling and cutting them into chunks, you are going to steam it separately. You can steam the veggies, all right, separately. And after steaming it with the fruit, you steam it and boil some eggs in another pan. So after the eggs are cooked, you put it aside, peel the eggs, and when the fruits and the veggies are cooked, and meanwhile, don't forget you have you know your couscous already cooking. So after that, you can put in a little bit of butter. Yes, put in some butter in the already cooked veggies. Okay, mix it up, and after that, pour in the cooked veggies and fruits into the cooked couscous. Mix it up nicely. After doing that, you bring it down from the fire. I mean, you bring it down, allow it to cool. After it's cooled, get your food processor or blender, put it all of it into the blender and add some water and blend it. Okay? So blend it, add the cooked eggs as well. Blend it smooth. It depends on how old they are. If they're a bit older and they're okay eating texture, like eating something that's not so blended, you can just blend it coarsely. But if they're the type that don't like to eat things that are not well blended, you will have to blend it really, really nice. I'm going to show you a picture of how it looks after blending it. So I mix it. Sometimes I use chicken, sometimes I use beef, sometimes I use eggs, and it's really, really good. And then after doing all that, I blend it and I put it in a Tupperware. I put it in the freezer. So I take out the portion that they want to eat. I'm going to give them anytime I want to, feed them. So when I bring it out, I like to, defrost. After defrosting, I warm it on the stove, or I know microwaves are not too good to be used all the time. So you can just warm it in a saucepan. After 1 minute, you can, I talked about mixing milk appropriately with the number of ml of water and the scoops of milk that you need. So if you have milk that you already mixed, you can add the milk into the already cooked and blended couscous. After you add the milk, you can add a teaspoon or a tablespoon of peanut butter. Remember, this recipe is for babies that want to gain weight. You can actually give babies that are okay, that just want to eat healthy, but you can just maybe take out some of the things that are included, like the butter and the peanut butter. You can just take them out. They're optional, okay? So you cannot add your peanut butter into the one they are going to eat. Okay. But if you're not sure of the peanut butter, because I know how worried parents can be, you can actually make your own peanut butter, right? You can just roast your granules, and after roasting it, you blend it, okay, so that you can be sure that there was nothing else added into it. And remember, I also mentioned that before you start giving your children nuts, make sure that they are not allergic to nuts. So this is how allergy does, and you don't want your baby's face looking like mine. So try as much as possible to test them and see if they are allergic to nut or not before you start giving them this, okay? And I promise you, when you give them this kind of food, before you know it, they are going to put in so much healthy weight, okay? All right, so I would like to see in the comment section, mothers, caregivers, if you have tried this recipe, let me know, okay? And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be ready and happy, to explain or throw more light, or talk to you, okay? Whatever you want to know. So thank you very much. This is Linda again. Have a good day. Bye.